Hi Emily, welcome back to the channel. Today I have a Moulinex food whisker. There's nothing wrong with it, it's working fine. But there's one thing with this plug. Now let me show you why I won't sell a vintage item with a plug like this. Paid a couple of quid for it, probably worth 20 quid, but we need to change this. And here's why, stay tuned. Right, so like I said, there's two things wrong with this plug, which is the reason I will not sell it with this plug on it, or any plug in this condition as well. Let me just take these off. Let's show you why. Okay, there's two problems wrong with this. Let's show you the first one. This applies to any plug. I will not sell it in this condition, and that is a reason there. The clamp is on your live and neutral wire. It should be on this outer sheathing. This wire should be in further. So that's reason one. That is dangerous. It's not really clamping it down, and pulling on this wire, yeah, could end up like pulling out or shocking someone. That is just a risk. Shouldn't sell like that. And the other one is it's not a safety plug. It is an old plug. Is it made by anyone? Who's this made by? There's no brand on it. Some vintage plugs can be worth could be worth about 10 quid. But the problem with this vintage plug, it hasn't got insulation on the pins. Now some people, when they're pulling a plug out, they'll sometimes lift it up a bit, and you could get your fingers underneath there and end up touching the bottom of them pins, and you're going to get electrocuted. What they've done now with newer plugs is they have the insulation around them. It's called a safety plug. So you put the insulation around them, so if people are like sliding their fingers underneath there, you know, most people do pull them out like that, but it's a safety thing. But some people can put their hands underneath and touch these pins while they're still connected inside the plugs, if you've got little fingers. So let's show you how to change a plug. You can switch off now. If you know how to change a plug, just switch off. But let's get this old one out. We'll undo the wire clamp. See, this isn't going to clamp very well as well on just those two thin wires. And you can end up just pulling the wires out of here. It's just dangerous. It can cause, like, if you pull on them, can cause you to crack the wires, or the wires come out slightly. And it could be, you know, just touching, causing it to arc. That could cause a fire. All different reasons. I'm no expert, so take what I'm saying with a pinch of salt, but this isn't the correct way of doing it. Actually, when I had my boiler installed, the plumber put the plug on the boiler, and he did it like this with these wires hanging out. I wasn't impressed. You know, an experienced professional plumber should know how to wire a plug. God, there's all bits falling out of that. What fuse we got on there? Got a 3 amp fuse. I'm going to leave that one open for now, because I might, depending on what fuse is in here, this is a 13 amp, but I might change if the fuse over if this is 13. Yeah, I don't know whether it's meant to be a 3 amp, but I'm going to swap the fuses over. Plug works fine. I've already tested it. Right, so now we want to get our wires. The correct length. That's all I usually do. When you're wiring up a new plug, just make sure you've got plenty of your outer insulation through there. And basically your brown wire's going straight through there. So you can cut that off to the length of the end of that. So let's go and show you. Yes, just cut your brown wire off so you know it's going to go all the way through. The same with your neutral. You can just kind of like bend that over, make sure everything's in place, and we'll cut that blue wire just there. So we now know they're the right length. So your blue wire is always a little bit longer than your brown. Now you just strip 5mm off the end of there. Give them a twisty. Yeah, take the clamp off completely, then you can just get yourself right in there. Push the leg up a bit so it's like easier to get your wire in, so you can make sure it's all the way through, and make sure there's no bare wire sticking out this side. Push it back in, and then we can like tighten that one up nicely. And with our blue one, oops, sorry, it's probably out of shot then. So yeah, push that back down, and then we can tighten that up. It's gripped in there now. And then our neutral, I sometimes just pop the actual plug out. You can push it in there. Tighten that down to hold it. Wiggle your plug back in. Get your wires into place. And then tighten that down. That's it. Make sure they're nice and tight. They're in. Then we just put our cable clamp back on. So get one leg going, screw that in, get the other side in there. Do them up a nice even amount, don't tighten one side more than the other, and keep it quite even. There you go, that is now nicely clamped on that wire. Much better than being clamped on these two silly little things. That's it, a couple more turns and we're done. And there's that little screw from my last video where I didn't put it back in the remote control. But that ain't going to fall apart. And there you go, that's done. Now I've got a safety plug in it. It's got the 3A fuse in it that was originally in there. And now that is a lot more, that's a lot safer to sell. I will now sell this. So that's it, that's just a quick one, how to change a plug and the reasons why you should change vintage plugs like this. I'm going to leave the fuse out of it. Some vintage plugs do actually sell well on eBay. Like I say, you can probably get a tenner for some of them, the old MK ones. I'm sure you can buy new plugs for a couple of quid. I haven't bought a plug for ages because I've always got spare parts laying around. You know, that still looks old. That still looks old and vintage and dirty. But there you go. Right, thanks for watching this little video. Hope you like it. Hope you learned something. Please like, please comment, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't sell vintage plugs like that.